That you can now be seated. It dawned on me at that moment that, my goodness, I've been standing this whole time, didn't realize it.
After starting using the technology for approximately 2 weeks, my pain completely disappeared.
32 years of pain gone in 3 days.
I just love the products. They just help me to feel younger and younger year after year.
Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you. I couldn't tell. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our Monday evening community call. I'm your co-host, Robin, along with Gregory, and we get together every Monday night to share all kinds of wonderful things, give you updates of what's going on, share some good news, celebrate people. And tonight's call, we're going to talk about growing your business and growing your team. So Gregory, I think we're going to jump in here, and we want to, let's see, I think we still want to promote Jennifer if she's here.
Yeah, and that's after this part of the call, so we'll do that in a few minutes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to turn things over to you to jump in and get started. And great.
Well, good evening, everyone. Delighted to be here with you tonight. And tonight our subject is going to be growing. And, our job is to grow people and to grow our business. And we're going to talk about a wonderful coaching and mentoring model that Robin introduced me to a number of years ago. And when I saw it, I went, oh my gosh, this is the perfect model for our profession, network marketing. And I come from a traditional business background. I owned a small manufacturing business in Southern California. So I was into management. I went to Wharton Business School and studied management and, and product production and inventory control and all that good stuff. I was into managing resources, my people, my machines, raw materials, and all the other things. And then I got in network marketing. And none of that worked anymore. It was like, I had to stop playing baseball and learn basketball. I had to stop being a plumber and learn to be a carpenter. It was a total paradigm shift. So there's a few things that carried over. Some of the people skills I developed carried over, but my management skills, they were gone. And so I'm going to share my screen, and this is just our newsletter. Most of you have probably seen this. But tonight we're going to talk about how to grow your team and business utilizing this fabulous model called the GROW model. And Robin, since you introduced me to it, why don't you kind of lay the groundwork for this?
I'd be happy to. So many years ago, I had the privilege of working with a man named Ellen Fine, and you'll see the link to his talk. He and a few other gentlemen created this model. It's a coaching model that is, to this day, the most used coaching model for executives in multinational businesses around the world. And I got certified in this program, and we used to use the inner game of golf and tennis and use these very simple questions. And I think what got Gregory so excited about it is it's simple and easy to duplicate. It's something anybody can do. You don't need to be trained as a master coach. If you just follow the guidelines and follow the questions, as Gregory shared with me many years ago, our goal in this business is to get people in and to keep them in and then help them move along. And we want to help people grow into their whatever they want to create out of their business. So the model is called GROW. It's an acronym, and you can see the visual on the side. G stands for goal. R is reality, what's going on currently. The goal, we typically like to do a monthly goal with our people, and reality is what's going on right now. Then we go into options, obstacles, opportunities. We pull out a magic wand and just open things up to possibilities. And then we take a look at what interests you enough to want to take action and move forward on. So we call it the way forward. So that's the acronym. And I'll turn it back to you, Gregory.
Yeah, and the beauty of this is it helps people chunk it down and focus, because, there's unlimited opportunities, but we need to learn to focus. And that was one of my early lessons in this profession. I remember listening to a tape and said, you got to learn to focus, and it was really good. And it really helped me, in my transition from management to leadership. And I attended a coaching school. When I realized coaching or mentoring was the model here, I went to a 3-day coaching school and a big 3-ring binder and hours and hours and hours. And then Robin introduced me to this, and I went, this is simple. I could teach this in 5 minutes and do it on the back of a napkin at Starbucks, okay? And that's what I like about it, because you've heard me say it before, success in this business requires you keep it simple and you keep it duplicatable. And this is both of those. So we're going to jump in to discuss the coaching model. And I want to put it into perspective. This is for you as leaders and team builders, okay? And if you're brand new here with LifeWave, then maybe your leader or your mentor will do a grow session with you. But, when someone first joins the business, the first thing you want to do, I'm just going to jump over to our website, our Live Younger Success. The 3 steps to success, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. We get people to download the app, teach them our daily method of operation, and schedule a success planning session. That should happen within 24 to 72 hours of them joining the business. But hopefully a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year from now, they're still in the business with you. Well, you don't do a success planning session every month, because that's how you get people started. That's like a getting started session. And this is where the grow session comes in, because everybody should be doing and participating in grow sessions once a month. That's the ideal scenario, because you want to stay in connection. We're in relationship business. You want to build relationship. And our goal is to grow people. And the way you grow people is just like, Robin and I grow a garden, in the summer. We don't grow a garden anymore because it snowed all day today, okay? The gardening's over and the weeding's over. But, the garden, you got to check up on the garden. You got to weed it. You got to water it. You got to work with it. And with your people, you need to work with them. So if you go into Live Younger Success and you go to, let me get into the library. And if you go into our resources and documents, okay, and that's going to pop up in a moment here. And then you're going to go into business training. You're going to click on business training. And then in business training, and that's section 5, it automatically pops open to that. One of the last item in the second row is monthly grow plan. And that's my cat. And she wants to participate in the training, but I'm not going to let her tonight, okay? So I apologize for the meowing in the background. The benefits of home-based business, right? So this is the monthly grow plan, and here it is, okay? It's very simple. It's like Robin said, it's a 4-step process: goals, reality, options, and way forward. And you notice it says monthly grow session. The goal is to do this monthly. And if you're not already doing it, or if no one's done it with you yet, this is a great time to start, because here we are in November, December. Great things happen between now and the end of the year, okay? This is just a wonderful time. It's a time to socialize, and we're going to see more people, be with more people. Business is going to grow for a while. It may slow for a little while because, we're not too many of us are going to be closing or enrolling people over Thanksgiving dinner or a Christmas dinner, but we're going to be seeing a lot of people and sowing seeds. And I know Robin and I subscribe to the philosophy, never leave home without it. So we always have patches with us. I don't think, Robin, I can't remember where we've ever gone when you haven't patched someone. Okay. So And it's just, and it's out of her love for people. It's not like she's always chasing the business. You know, she sees somebody that's in need or is having an issue. She is just committed to helping them. You know, we're really into the concept of servant leadership. And in servant leadership, you're serving the needs of the people that are before you. And when you're building your business, our job is to serve the needs of the people joining your team. And that's where the monthly grow session comes in. So if you haven't ever seen this form, I encourage you after this call, download a copy of it and read through it. You know, and I'm just going to read through it real quickly. A coach's responsibility is to support and assist people on their journey towards their desired destination. Robin, why don't you remind us of the meaning of a coach?
I learned this from Alan Fine, who created this model. And he said, you know, coach came from 16th century England. And the kind of coach we had available then was what? Yep, a stagecoach.
Stagecoach.
And the definition of a coach was to convey a valued person from where they are to where they want to be. And I know in our business, sometimes we think this person has great potential. We know where they can be or where we want them to be. That's not what we're talking about. That's why that introduction of getting to know someone in the very beginning when you're doing that business planning session is to find out what they want and where they are and where they want to go. And I will say that many times that can change because most of you know my story. You know, Gregory came involved in the business a while after I started. All I wanted was to get out of pain in my knee. And I had no intention of building a business. I was a customer. I was a wholesale customer. And I just bought patches for myself and I wasn't, but you know, the rest is history because we know it really worked and I couldn't not share. So from where they are to where they want to go. Back to you.
So grow sessions are intended to help clearly define and set SMART goals, check and refine those goals based on current reality. And that's really important. Okay. And open our minds up to fast and focused options to achieve those goals. And then get people to agree and commit to a specific new and exciting way forward. And our intention is to help increase focus and decrease interferences. And this naturally helps people focus. So typically when I'm doing a grow session with someone, I'll have this form in front of me and I'll discuss it with them and I'll fill it out while we're talking. I'll put it in a file folder. Robin puts hers in a binder. I put mine in file folders. And when we get back together next month, I'll pull the other one out and say, hey, last month we talked about your goal was to get to director. How did we do? You know, or your goal was to get the manager. How did you do? Or your goal was to get a comma in your monthly check or a comma in your weekly check. How did we do? So, you know, you know, no one's memory is as good as a pencil. Okay. At least not very many. And there's a few people can remember just as well as a pencil, but you know, I'm not one of them. And when you deal with a lot of people, it's like, hey, last time we got together, we talked about this, this, this. So in the beginning, you're discussing their goals for the business. And it's important you chunk it down. If it's the first one you're doing, say, what goal should we work on with your LifeWave business? And by the way, this grow session, you could plan a vacation using the same model, okay? This works for everything. You could plan a wedding, you could plan anything, but this is focused, and we've kind of zeroed in these questions towards LifeWave, okay? But, you know, you want to help somebody set a SMART goal, and a SMART goal is specific, meaningful, agreed to, realistic, and time-phased. And, you know, sometimes it's good to bring up and, you know, okay, you want to hit director by the end of December. What are the consequences if you don't reach the goal? You're not going to get the $500 bonus, you know, or whatever else it might be. But, you know, it's important to say, okay, because let's face it, none of us always hit all of our goals. And, but it's important to have goals. So, so Robin, just jump in if you want. Otherwise, I'll, you know,
Well, yeah, I do want to say that, you know, there is the structure that is the acronym GROW. And what will typically happen is you're going to jump around. And I think it's always important to get back to the goal and make sure you're on the same page, because throughout the process, you're going to be asking, is this goal still realistic based on what you're looking at in current reality? But know that it's fine if you don't go in order. It's totally fine. And it happens all the time.
It's not linear. We talked about this the other day on one of the calls. It's a spiral. So, you start talking about the goal and immediately the reality comes out. Oh, my dog's sick. I got a flat tire or this or that. And you can make notes in this section. There was a lot of white space for you to make notes. And then you go, okay, well, let's go back, based on that reality, is this still a realistic goal? And you might have to chunk the goal. Maybe it's not director this month. Maybe it's manager. Okay. Based on our current reality. I've got to work overtime. The holiday season's coming. It's important to balance your goals with your reality. And once you've kind of gone through this process, and I like to tell people, this is going to be about 30 to 45 minutes when you're first starting out. How are we doing on time? Okay, it's 7:15. How are we doing for time? And if they say, hey, I got to leave in 30 minutes to go pick my kids up from school, I got to do this to do that, you got to adjust it so you get to step 4, because you don't want to get to step 3 and say, oh my gosh, it's 7:45, I gotta go. That's really important when doing a planning session, to make sure that you have sufficient window of time. Once you've got the goals and you've gone through the reality and take stock of the current situation, where you're starting from, and gain a clear understanding of their options moving forward. And these are some prompting questions. You don't need to ask every one of these, but they're there to help you kind of dig in and move into it. Briefly explain what's been happening. Was the goal we discussed last month?
Let me just jump in for a second. When you ask briefly what's been happening, it's really nice to pull up their back office and take a look at what's going on while you're doing that. And as many of you know, I recommend that you always get the login for people that you work with regularly. And so you can look together on their back office. Back to you.
And if you have to log in, you may want to look before the meeting starts.
Yes, I do that all the time.
Be a little prepared so you can get to it. And that's really cool, because if whatever they did, you could congratulate them on the front end. Hey, I checked out. I saw the last month you sponsored these people. You got your volume to that, so it's really important to do some recognition, celebration, and acknowledgement at the same time. And after you've identified the goals and align the goals with reality, then you can start developing options to help them reach the goals, and maybe they need to get out of their comfort zone. Maybe they need to get out of their house. Maybe they need to get into more social environments. Maybe they need to go ahead, Robin. I can see why.
No, it's great. When we're talking about options, a lot of times we like to say, let's pick out the magic wand and let go of any limitations. If there were no limitations, what are some ideas and options that could help you reach your goal? And let them talk for a while. And then notice at the end there, it says, would you like some suggestions from me? I take notes with my ideas as we're going through things, but I don't share them until I ask permission if they're open to get some suggestions from me. Let them do the brainstorming and go wild and possibilities first. Okay.
That is very important, that you want to pull from them. You're the coach. You're asking these questions and you're listening. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Okay. You're not managing, you're coaching. And after they've kind of exalted, say, and is there anything else what else? Is there anything else you could do? And I love the magic wand because that adds some fun to it. Then you can say, would you like me to give you a few other suggestions? I've got one other idea. May I share it with you? And then do any of these ideas interest you to further explore? And if you were to do this, how might we go about it? And that kind of sets the stage to move into part 4, commit to a way forward. Select the most viable solutions, because in step 3, you might have 4, 5, 6 different things they could do, but maybe they should only zero in on 1 or 2 of them, remember, you got to help people to focus. And that's, going back to the image. Okay. This is all about focus. This is a management tool. It's a coaching model to help people learn to focus and develop a way forward so you can kind of let go and they're going to run. That doesn't mean you might not do a 5 or 10 minute check-in once a week with people, but you only need to really do a grow session about once a month. That was a lot. So Robin, why don't you wrap it up? Since you started this, years ago when you introduced me to it. I am a major fan of grow sessions, and
Yes. And like Gregory says, he has a file folder. I have a notebook. I do a lot of these sessions with people. If I ever do them with someone, I always make sure that if I didn't personally sponsor them, which is mostly what we do is the people we personally sponsored, but once in a while work with someone else and make sure if you're doing it for someone else that you did not personally sponsor, have their sponsor on the line when you are doing the session. I actually won't do a session without the sponsor on the line because we need to hear it together. And it is really fun because what happens is people just keep moving forward and everyone has their own pace and life and challenges and all kinds of things happen, and it's okay. It's part of the spiral, it's not a straight line, but we're looking for movement, and that's what we're doing here. And I'm so glad, Gregory, the penny dropped for you when you went, oh my gosh, this is so great for our profession, because we've used this extensively and it's been very, very valuable. So we invite each and every one of you to either ask for a growth session from your sponsor, or offer it to someone in your team that is really serious. We want to work with we always work with the willing, and that's exciting for the people that really want to move forward to have yet one more tool that will help you personally grow into where you want to go in your business.
And I think where we are now, we're a week into November, and it probably a good focus is where do you want to be at the end of this year? Where do you see yourself going to at the end of this year? And I'm just going to roll on to the next thing in our, the next couple of things. I'd like to see as many people as possible taking advantage of our $500 new director bonus. But not everybody's going to be ready to commit to director at the end of the year, but many people are. Maybe it's manager, and that's wonderful too. So I want to talk for just a couple of minutes about our Power of the Patch blitz calls, because we're getting so many stories now, lots of good stories of people that are having good success with it. And this is a way for you and your team to meet their goals. So we've got a few of our team leaders on the call here with us that are going to share a few stories of success that they've had getting prospects on one of these Power of the Patch calls every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday afternoon. And I want to thank Connie Lucas and Jennifer, Janet Kiefer for a fabulous job they do on those two calls. So let's just start with Jennifer Starr. If you'd like to kind of share what you're doing, if you'd like to turn your camera on, that'd be awesome.
All right. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
There you are.
These have been so valuable, these calls. And we got so excited at the beginning. The first success I had was mentioning it at our team gathering. Let's challenge each other to all show up on one of these this week, so we know what we're inviting people to, so that we can get acclimated. And then it was me doing a watch party with a builder who has a small team and bringing her team together. And then we did that with a couple others. And each time someone got a new inspiration, it was like, wow, I needed to see that. I needed to know more about the history of this company. And I needed to see those before and after photos. So at the same time, I was inviting some of my potential customers or brand partners to join me. I've got something exciting that's live. And one of my very skeptical friends from the old days, she said, I hate these things. And I said, you know what? You are going to be off camera. No one's going to try to sell you anything. You get to listen. You get to stay on as long as you choose to. And then just call me when you're done. And I said, oh, and by the way, if you want to share it with your husband, ask him. So I called her back because I didn't hear from her. And she goes, oh man, I forgot. So I told her the next one that was available. And she not only invited her husband, she brought 3 of her old school buddy friends. And the very right immediately after, she said, the Campfire Girls from 40 years ago want to meet with you. Can you do a Zoom with us? And they all signed up. And it was so exciting. And of course, her husband did too. So that was one of the most thrilling moments. So, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Okay, and how about Carol Lee? I see you're online with us. You'd like to pop on? Hey, there she is. Hi, Carol Lee.
How are you?
Great. So tell us, you've had some success also with the Power of the Patch seminar.
Yes. I have one in particular I wanted to talk about. It was a man who I know was checking out several companies, and I decided to invite him. It was way at the beginning of when we were doing this. So I invited him to one of the webinars, the Power of the Patch webinars, and he ended up enrolling, and now he's enrolling people. So definitely they're powerful. They're excellent. Thank you so much for offering them.
They work. It's simple and it works. The only thing you got to do is get people to attend.
Exactly.
Invite and get them to show up. Great. Thanks, Carol Lee. And Sunshower, you're on with us. You want to share?
Sure would. Hope you can hear me tonight.
Yes, we can.
Good. I know sometimes you can't in the morning. It's so weird. Well, I love the fact that you're having these wonderful, well, we're calling them blitz calls, right? But they're Power of the Patch, which is another really good term. I think, I didn't bring a whole bunch of people to these calls, which I really tried. Getting them to the calls, that's an interesting part right there, Gregory. But it often helps if you say, I'll be there with you. I want to hear what you heard. And by you, let's talk right afterwards. And so I'm 100%, whoever came to these calls, everybody signed up in one way or the other, mostly preferred customers, but Robin, how that can turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is getting people to show up. Yep, that's right. Okay, so I haven't looked at, Robin, have you been tracking on the chat at all? There any comments?
Yeah, I'm tracking on the chat. And Ravel asked a good question. She said, how soon to do a grow session with someone? It really depends on them because, like Gregory talked about earlier, you want to do that business planning session first and get them launched in their business. If they're growing fast and they want to move fast, do it sooner. If they're moving slower, wait a little while. But you want to wait till there's some substance in their business, something to work with, and a little more juice. So it will vary per person. But thank you for asking.
A general rule of thumb I'd suggest is 30 days later. So day 1 or day 2. Day 1, they sign up. Day 2 or 3, you're doing that planning session, a success planning session. And then 30 days later, schedule a grow session. Because and if they're brand new, you want to do at least a weekly check-in and maybe a daily check-in with some people. But so I'd say as a rule of thumb, 30 days later.
Yeah. And I want to get back to the Power of the Patch Zoom calls because, there's an energy to them. And Jennifer commented, that it's reactivated some people that weren't active. So there's many opportunities to get people re-engaged, get them close to the fire. And you know, it's a really wonderful presentation. If I'm assuming everyone's seen it, but you might not have. And if you haven't, please watch, because I think you're in for a real treat. They are working. And all you need to do is, you know, invite people, invite your brand partners in, and maybe they'll invite some guests, and invite your inactive people, and invite your customers, because they can bring guests and earn their product for free. And of course, invite your prospects.
Yep. So of course, I think the more people you get on the Power of the Patch. So yes, Sunshower, they are our Blitz calls, but you probably don't want to say to your friend, would you like to join one of our Blitz calls? So I think for the prospects, we call them a Power of the Patch webinar, but they are our Blitz calls. Yes. Okay. So just reminding people that there's still room. You know, we're looking for people that want to participate, and I think we're going to have lots of directors come the end of this year, come the end of November and moving into December. But so let's just kind of scroll through. That was the main training section of our call. Now I think we're just going to give you some quick updates on things that are happening or things that have happened, and Canada updates. We don't have a lot of updates. Robin, I don't know, do you want to address Canada for a minute?
I do. And so every week they do have a Canadian webinar, and they ask you to register because they're still giving some points. Everyone should be, all Canadian members should be getting an email this week. The company's been incredibly generous, and they're really listening to the field. And they've come up with some ways to really support all of you that have these limitations. And we invite you, you know, we've been working with a lot of the Canadian leaders, and I just want to say how incredibly impressed I am with the proactivity, with the, okay, what can we do versus what can't we do? What don't we have? What do we have? And what we have is 79 other countries around the world, and the US, and people are finding out who needs their patches and figuring out creative ways to get them. And so please, you know that this is temporary. We don't have a time frame, you know. Hopefully sooner versus later. We do have an international consultant that's working with Health Canada. The company's paid top dollar to do this, and hopefully it'll be done really, really soon, and everything will be opened up again for everybody. And until then, market in the US, or market in Asia, or market wherever you want to travel. There's a hint there. Okay.
Focus on pain.
Focus on pain, and focus on skin. And by the way, David, and we'll get to that in just a minute, he did an amazing call last week on Alavida. And if you have not heard it, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, Gregory. If you have not heard it, it was, there it is. Please listen to that, because I got re-inspired again. I mean, I wear Alavida every night, but to learn the many dimensions of what Alavida does. I mean, we talk about skin from the inside out and regeneration, but there's many more things that are happening with the activation of the pineal gland and the brain, and all kinds of amazing things. So really the link to listen to that is on there, and I think you'll find it very inspiring, and I think you'll be really, really regular to use your Alavida patch.
And last night I caught Robin trying to take my night cream.
Oh, honey, you're not supposed to tell people that. That's mine, he says. Yeah.
Okay. So other events. So this tomorrow night we have Dr. Stewart.
Yes, Dr. Stewart. We said he was last week, but we did a last minute switch and had Dr. Jeff. So we do have Dr. Stewart tomorrow night.
Okay. And on Wednesday, there's once a month, there's a new member webinar. If you haven't seen it, even if you're not a new member, you probably want to watch it, so you'll know what your new members may be looking to, and you can learn all about it. You can go to the events section in your back office and click on join, but that's Wednesday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time.
And I do want to emphasize that if you have never seen it, Please watch it at least once, because I think you're going to learn some new things when you watch it. And like Gregory says, you will know what your new members are getting exposed to. It will save your time and getting them off to a great start. So please, and that will be available. If you don't get to see it live, you can go to Lifewave Business Builders Facebook group, and it's up there, and you can watch it at your convenience.
Mhm. So this last Thursday, we knocked a cover off the ball. If you weren't on the Thursday morning special training event, you missed something, but don't worry, it's available for replay, because Dr. Steve, it was a wonderful, wonderful call. And he's been a dear friend of Robin's and mine for many years. We met him at a Direct Selling World Alliance National Convention, and he was a keynote speaker. He's been a keynote speaker for many different network marketing companies. He's a doctor, he's a magician, he's a hypnotist, he's a brilliant business strategist, and we're proud to call him friend. So Robin, you want to just a little bit about Steve, and then we'll encourage people to click and watch the replay. And if you were there, you probably want to watch the replay because it's worth watching again.
Yeah, we call it edutainment. You will be edutained. You will be entertained as you are educated. And Dr. Steve has programs like procrastination annihilation, unhypnosis. He works with the subconscious and how to, make changes in your life and so the topic was getting unstuck, because everything we've been trying, we've been offering so many different opportunities for each and every one of you to really have this be your best fourth quarter ever. And so everything from the bonuses from the company and the director bonuses and JJ on, best fourth quarter, and Dr. Steve. So I think you'll be really, really delighted. Everyone just loved it. It's fun, but it's profound at the same time. Great way to learn. And he's got tons of resources, and he's very available, and you'll just love him.
Yeah. Okay, so, and that pretty much wraps it up. We have a new enhanced text messaging system with a new number you register. I have to apologize. We've had a little problem with the MMS, so we've switched back to the SMS messages. No problem with them. And the company's working through some technical challenges that we can start the MMS, the image messaging going out. But all the calls are right here before you. This is an outline of our weekly calls and webinars, and we invite you to participate when and as you can. Most of them are available on replay, either on Live Younger Success, liveyoungeryoutube.com, or in our liveyoungerfb.com, or Live Younger Facebook group. So I think, Robin, that's pretty much puts a wrap on this evening.
Okay, I just want to remind people, in case we've had some people say they're having a hard time getting the newsletters. Once in a while I hear that. They are always available in the liveyoungersuccess.com website under the resource tab, so in the library. And so it is the last option available. And I hope we sent that to Liz today to put up there, but you can access, why don't you go there? That would be great. Go to the library, honey. Library?
Aren't they?
Library. Yeah, but go to the library. I want people to see in the library.
Oh, well, it's in what's new.
No. I know, but honey, I want everyone to see that the whole archive is there.
Newsletter archive down here at the bottom. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so it's there. And always when you go to Live Younger Success, I hope you go there often. That What's New tab has got all kinds of goodies in there. So you can access newsletters from way before when you were here, and if you've got someone new, they can tap in. There's just, truly kind of an endless amount of resources available. And Liz and I are working on some wonderful resources for you, for those of you that want to do trade shows and have booths and things. So we're working on some special things for you guys. And as we say all the time, God bless Liz. She's our rock, and she's our tech support, and she's so much more. She's always thinking about how to make it easier and better for everyone. So we're very grateful. And we
have a lot of cool looking newsletters.
We look at all that. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
It is. I was thinking about this earlier. It's like we got a lot of stuff here. And when I started, we had nothing, absolutely nothing. No getting started training, no website, no nothing. And it still worked. So just know that you've got tools and resources to make it as easy as possible and keep it really simple. When you get someone new, why don't you pull up to the top again, honey? Sweetheart, pull up to the top. Yeah. When someone is brand new, keep it really simple for them. Get them to the Get Started tab and the onboarding, and just stay focused there. And in time, all kinds of other things will unfold. But if people just start at that tab and go through everything there, they can get into action, start producing, start making money before their products even arrive. Okay. So I think we are complete.
Well, wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for participating. We love you much. And we may see you next Monday. We may not. If we do, it'll be from Costa Rica, because this Thursday, Robin and I are going off to Costa Rica with the SPD rewards trip. And so we'll be there with 150 other senior presidential directors. I'm not sure how many are going to be there, but we have 4 wonderful days at a wonderful resort in Costa Rica. So we'll be thinking of you from Costa Rica this next weekend.
And then this is different than our Italy trip. Our Italy trip was a vacation. I will say I am bringing my computer. We will have access, we won't be as available as we are right now, but it's not like we're totally off the grid.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jennifer, Carolee, and Sunshower Rose for being with us tonight and sharing. And please use those calls. Those Zooms are amazing. I know a lot of you became direct managers, and you can get to director by the end of December. You just need 2 people that become managers. Okay. And a few more silvers. All right.
And we love hearing your success stories from the calls. If you have a success story you'd like to share with us, maybe we'll get you on next Monday's call. We'd like to have a few success stories to share every Monday evening. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.